All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm here with my boy David today.
What's going on,
Um,
guys?
One of the best stories I have to share with everybody. David is a guy who I met in France playing probably 5 or 6 years ago, and through meeting through a preseason game, we got close, started talking, and years later, David was in my wedding. One of my closest friends I have, somebody I trust and love dearly. But this is just a story today. I'm just going to share his story, but it's something that developed out of just playing overseas. You just never know what's going to come out of it. So David is a relationship that was built just on a preseason game. So he's going to share a little bit about his story, but just a cool, thing about what basketball brings to the table is sometimes you develop these kind of friendships and relationships, and David's an example of that. So besides that, David, introduce yourself a little bit, where you're from, your background, where you played in college, a little bit where you played overseas.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, as Steve, I had already mentioned, man, my name is David, and I've played 8 years professional basketball overseas. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., but I grew up in Maryland. And so I've always loved basketball. I always wanted to, go to the NBA. That's every kid's dream, right? So, um, growing up in Washington, D.C., I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the fastest, man, but, I was always athletic. So,
I can
I
vouch for
got a
that.
got a chance to, play varsity basketball since a sophomore in high school, just off of athleticism, and I needed an extra year, and so I withdrew from my regular high school in Maryland and went to prep school and gained another year of just experiencing high caliber basketball, and ended up going to junior college and playing well there for my freshman year. Won a national title at South Plains College, which is in Levelland, Texas, West Texas. 30 miles, 30 minutes right outside of Lubbock. And so Lubbock is actually the town where Texas Tech is. And so after I spent my 2 years there, went to Texas Tech and, played in the NIT my first year there, which was a junior, and had a decent senior year, and ended up getting my first professional contract in Iceland. And so went to Iceland, played well there the first 3 months, and then I tore my quadricep tendon. And so I had to go home to rehab, and rehab did well. And then from Iceland, I had got my second contract in Qatar. Went and played 2 weeks in Qatar and tore my foot up. So I had a bony fracture in my foot, man, trying to go for a tip back dunk against this tall guy. And, when you're young, you want to jump all over the place and not stretch. You think you're invisible when you're young, man. But, that second year of playing in Qatar and hurting myself, man, it humbled me. And I got to know a lot about my body then. You know what I mean? Something that I haven't something that I always look past, man, even when I was in college, because, like I said, in college, you just think that you're invisible. You don't even have to, you don't have to stretch, and you just go out there and play. And, I wouldn't even think twice about doing that now.
Mhm.
So, but, started learning a lot about my body, man. I was out for about 4 months when that happened, and was blessed to receive a third contract overseas once I healed up to go to, I want to say, Israel. So I got a chance to go to Israel, played in Israel for the second half of the season, did well. And from there, I got a chance to go to Greece, and I played first division in Greece. So my very first time playing high caliber basketball. And from there, I had one of my worst and best seasons in my life. And reason being was because I had one of my worst seasons statistically, shot 18% from three, averaged probably about 8 points per game, uh, shot about 30% from two. It was just a different type of basketball for me there. In Greece, everything is real technical, and all the other teams that I've been playing on, they just give me the ball and go, give me the ball and go. But, I had a hard time in Greece because, I had to use more so of this. And, I remember the coach, he's actually like a Greek legend, Coach Koskinos or something like that. And he would always say, David, 95% of basketball is mental and 5% is physical. If you rely more on your physical, your 95% of the game is gone. That means that your game is zero, And so so that really took a long way, man. And I learned how to slow the game down playing there. And then from there, I went to France, and that's where I met my boy Steve. So preseason game, as some of you, as he mentioned, we had a preseason game against one of his teams there, and we played well. And then I was with my guy. There's another American dude on my team. His name is Tafari Tooney, and he went to Houston. And so I was speaking English, and then I just seen Steve, and he it was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how we just stopped, and we all just started talking. And then Steve said, "Party super French." And I was like, "Did I say that right?" You said, "Do I speak French?" Something like that. Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm talking to Steve like, "No, English," And then Steve was like, "I'm from America, bro."
Oh, man.
So, and then from there, man, it was just on and popping. We got a lot of mutual friends. He's also from the East Coast. He actually went to school with one of my prep school teammates in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so we just been tight ever since. And then so after Israel, I went to Spain. Played in Spain, did well there, played the whole season there, and then from Spain went to Morocco, and went out to Morocco, and this is how when you want to be a professional basketball player, not playing in countries like that, And with all due respect, Morocco is a nice country, but just it's just different. It's different. So I spent about 11 months there. Stuck it out the whole time, and then from there I learned how to really, like in Greece, take whatever situation that I have, and just really, we're really sorry about that, man, my son. From there, I got a chance to really just focus in and just hone in on just the mental aspect of the game,
Mm-hmm.
So, but hold on, give me a second. Hey, Torn, quiet, buddy. Hey, it's okay. And so, playing in countries like that, man, you gotta, really just focus in and just know whether it's something that you just really want to do, or you know what I mean. So, playing in Morocco and Greece, man, really helped me out. And then I want to say from there. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I skipped a couple countries. From after playing in, I want to say it was France, I went to Canada. Canada was cool. Played about 2 months there, and then went to Morocco. So I mean, it was a good journey, man. And then from Morocco, I had hurt my foot after the season. I had ruptured my I had a what you call it, an Achilles tendonitis in my foot. And so from there, I just had to that's when I decided just to retire, just with the injuries. And then, I was getting older and, decided to have a family, and stuff like that. So, but it was an interesting journey. Coming out of college, I thought that, I was the best, and I was quickly humbled, man. So, but I wouldn't trade those experiences for nothing, man. It helped me grow as a man, most importantly, and it helped me to, to problem solve. Everybody in different countries spoke different languages. You had to learn how to get around. You gotta learn how to order food. You gotta learn how to hey, buddy, relax. You gotta learn how to do a lot of things, man. And so I was just real grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same experience with playing in Morocco. Morocco was your last contract. Morocco was my first contract.
Okay.
Definitely not a place I would go to at this point in my career. When you're hungry, you'll take anything to see,
Right.
see the world and have the opportunity. But as you get older, you realize certain things are just not worth it anymore.
Right.
My first practice, we went into the gym. They took us to a different gym than the one we played in, and there was bird stains from birds pooping all over the court and stuff because the windows were open. The backboard was cracked. There was no net on one of the rims. I'm like, what is this?
Oh yeah, it's strange, man. It's really strange, man. It makes you really know, playing in countries like that really makes you know whether you have love for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Love for the game. Like I said, I spent 11 months there. And then I was, what really helped me out was that Spain was 10 minutes away, So there's a small part of Morocco that Spain colonized. So I would just go there every weekend. Me and my boy Dante, you remember Big Dante Smith? We would just go to Spain on the weekends and just hang out, grab something to eat, and just chill. So, but it was cool, man. It was cool.
Yeah, you definitely love of the game is the big thing. If you're doing it for a paycheck, you're not going to last very long because
Correct.
most
Yeah.
people don't realize overseas basketball is not what you see on television 90% of the leagues. It isn't the
No,
high,
sir.
the huge crowds and the nice gyms and the huge paychecks. Most, contracts start in places like Morocco where, the gyms aren't well, the money isn't well.
Yep.
We didn't get paid on time and stuff, so you got to deal with that. But because you love basketball, you got to make it work in order to move up.
Yeah, for sure. Just you nailed it right on target, man. You got to know whether you have love for the game. If you're chasing a paycheck, man, you're not going to go far.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go far. And I think that's where the problem is, man, with a lot of kids coming out of college now, so, they have these big names and, they do well in college and then they go overseas and then they only last for about 2 months, So you gotta, my coach would always tell me, my coach in Washington, D.C., Coach D would always tell me, he would say, David, you got to crawl before you walk, It's a reason why rookies don't get paid no more than, well, I don't know if it changed now, but it's a reason why rookies don't get paid no more than $3 million a year in the NBA. You gotta show like I'm capable of handling this much, money and still, you gotta be hungry. You gotta work for it, man, so. And I never walked into professional basketball wanting to make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like wanting to be a millionaire. Like money didn't drive me to hoop, man. Like I love to play the game of basketball. And even like now being 33, knee surgery, I can still dunk and stuff like that. I'm still pretty quick, but I don't get nothing for it, but I still wake up 5 a.m. just to work out and get shots up.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the game. You know what I mean? Like I love to play. I love everything about basketball. You get to see people's best and you get to see their worst. You know what I mean? You get to see what type of person they are through the sport that they play. I met some of my best friends, like you, one of them. I met there's a guy here in Denton, Pastor Blake. He's a pastor. He played professional basketball in Costa Rica. I met some of my best friends playing this sport. So, I'm just really grateful, man, for just the opportunities and, and the friendships that I've made, man, through playing basketball, professional and, just recreation. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you were in my wedding, so I mean, 4 of the guys in my wedding were guys I met through basketball, teammates, friends. Brian, who was never a player but was in the club helping, who became one of my best friends.
Yeah.
The opportunities it presents, not just in traveling the world, but actually the relationships that can be built. I can count on one hand the number of people that I'm close with because of basketball, but those 5 I have, are guys for life that I know I can call on any moment. If I need anything, they're there. If you just want to go hang out, these are guys who, because of basketball, brought us together. If I didn't have basketball, who knows where I'd be? I wouldn't be in Australia right now. I don't know what job I'd be working, but basketball has opened so many doors and opportunities that I don't think many other things can do.
For sure. For sure.
Talk about what your favorite experiences were and worst experiences. You talked a little bit about, Greece being the hardest. Morocco, I know it's pretty tough also from experience, but there's also the good ones. For me personally, playing in Spain and, the Virgin Islands, not the Virgin Islands, the Canary Islands was one of my highlights because, every day 75 and sunny, a 2-week walk to the beach. That's something I'm looking back on that I absolutely loved versus Mexico where, it was a little bit tougher. So share some of your experiences.
Man, I would say for me, man, just to chime in a little bit, one of the toughest experiences, man, of course, was in Morocco and Greece, man. But, a great experience for me, man, I would say 2 countries, man, just playing in the south of France. So when I was playing in France, I was playing with a team called Sorgues Avignon or something like that. And it was like right outside of Marseille, which is in the south of France, man. And so when I was there, I would go to Montpellier.
Yep.
We would go to Montpellier Beach and we would go hang out, man. And it was so nice there, man. So nice there. And then in the south of France, man, it rained, but the weather was also warm too, man, out there. So, which was really cool. And then Israel, I played in Israel. I played 10 minutes right outside of Tel Aviv, and that was nice, man. Yeah. Tel Aviv is really nice, man. Israeli people is friendly. I got a chance to experience Shabbat Shalom every Friday, with this host family that I was with, man, out there. And got a chance to go to Jerusalem, got a chance to, see the historical facts about God and stuff like that, man, which was really cool because, I'm a Christian. And so, yeah, man, those, I would say those are my best experiences was for sure France and Israel.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Israel as well. Not the same time you were, but man, going to Jerusalem was probably one of the highlights of my life. Is walking down the old city and just seeing everything, and
Yeah.
walking Jesus walk and seeing
Mhm.
the architecture. Man, it's just something else. And it's
Yeah,
also, like you said, the beach, the weather, the people. Yeah, I'd probably put Israel up there in my top 2 or 3 as
for
well.
sure.
I would love to go back
Beautiful
and visit.
country, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful country, man. Beautiful country. Surrounded by, you got the dry parts of Israel and you got the
Mhm.
water and everything is like not that far. I want to say, man, from the top of Israel to the bottom of Israel, it's only about 5 hours,
It's not that
5 hour
big.
drive. Yeah. So,
So as you were, playing all these roles, how did you balance, work ethic with being able to spend time with family, even if you didn't have much time at home? For me, a big thing is, FaceTiming my family. Now
yeah.
that I have a family, I have a daughter, having to balance, all that together. How did you manage to do all that while making sure you stayed on top of basketball?
Well, so, whenever I was overseas, it's not as I want to say, the technology then was not as advanced as it is now. So I mean, I don't know if they still have it, but I was using Skype and
Mm-hmm.
using what's the other Voodoo? It's called Voodoo video chat. That's when you used to be able to have like the multiple chats with your family members and stuff like that. I would use that. But most countries, man, it was, of course, you're a couple hours time difference. So like, for example, when I was in Greece, it was 6 or 7 hour time difference. So usually whenever I'm practicing and everything for my team, my parents and everybody is still asleep. And so by the time I finish my practice and everything, man, I will go on the phone and contact my family and stuff like that, and they'll just be getting up. So, I mean, it was a good balance there because it didn't interfere with my practices. Or if I wanted to go get some shots up and stuff like that, it didn't interfere with that either. You know what I mean? So, but I want to say, man, probably one of the toughest countries as far as communication wise and where it was hard for me to balance was Morocco because out there the internet was real spotty. um they didn't really have a lot of it wasn't as advanced as it was everywhere else, so that was kind of tough, man. But being in the gym and in Morocco, I had a key to the gym. They gave me a key to the gym, so I would go to the gym literally like midnight sometimes to go shoot, or as early as 4 or 5 in the morning just to go shoot. So that helped me out. That helped me, just try not to think about it too much and me not speaking to my family because of internet issues there and stuff. So
Basketball's therapy. That's what
yeah, for sure, definitely is therapy.
when things are going bad, just going to the gym really alleviates a lot of your stress, a lot of your
Oh
anxiety.
yeah. Oh yeah, like I said, I don't even play professional no more, man. But I still wake up, at 5 in the morning sometimes, go work out, me and a buddy, just for the love of the game, man. So
Yeah. So what's next now that you retired playing? What's next in life? I know you have a son, you got a daughter on the way any day that we can't wait to meet.
yeah.
What are you still doing with basketball moving forward now that you're not playing, professionally? It's still part of your life.
Yeah, man. So, I still do basketball training. I train, the youth. I train, I like to stick with kids that are like in elementary school and fourth, fifth, third graders, sixth graders, seventh graders, eighth graders. So I just do basketball training here in the Metroplex in Dallas. And then I'm also a basketball coach, man, for this high profile team called I School of Louisville. And so we have a kid that's on our team that's nationally ranked #9 in the nation. His name is Keontae George. So, and then we have a couple other nationally ranked kids on the team as well too. Another kid named Cruz Davis. God bless you. We got another kid named Christian. I forgot Christian's last name. So we have we have a really good team. We travel all across the nation. We're playing against Montverde this year. Playing against Oak Hill. We're playing against I just looked at the schedule too. We're playing against San Ysidro, the team where Mikey Williams is at in San Diego. So, I mean, I coach there, and I just share my experiences, man, from playing abroad. And me and my boy, Coach Brian Wellaway, another one of my best friends that you know. We both coach together, man, and, just coaching because we love the game, love to teach the game to these kids. So
does your history, your experience give you a little bit more credibility or say with kids when they see that, like, look, I want to be able to play basketball professionally someday and get paid to do it? Does your platform change based on what you've done? I know when I met NBA players as a kid, you hear an NBA player talk to you, it carries a little bit more weight. Is that the same thing?
Right. Yeah, for sure. And another thing about it is too, man, we called it the YouTube era, to where YouTube was first starting to come out and stuff like that. So, usually, man, with these kids nowadays, it's social media, everything. So, all I got to do sometimes, man, is just show a kid, or just me playing in college, and they'll just look at me like, wow, you played Division I basketball, And so, man, that causes them to, want to learn and want to grow, and also just want to just know, like, what do I know? You play 8 years professional basketball. I see it, What are some things that you can help me and teach me with? So,
all right.
I would say, man, it helps out a lot, man, for sure.
So what would you tell the next generation of kids who talk to you? What advice would you give them? For me, my advice when I always give kids is something you talked about earlier, is don't rely just on physical attributes.
Right.
Me, I'm not 6'6", I'm not the fastest, I can't jump out the gym, but I do use my brain a lot. I'm a lot smarter than most people, and that helps. What was something you would tell these kids who, have the same aspirations that we had as kids to play professionally?
Man, I'm a little different to how I tell kids advice as far as getting better, right? So nowadays, man, I tell kids to watch the game. We have a lot of kids nowadays, man, that just watch highlights. But what I mean about watch the game, watch how Chris Paul sets his man up or comes off of a ball screen, right? Watch how, LeBron James know where his offensive player is going before he even know. Like, really watch the game up here, right? Because before anything becomes any type of action, it has to be up here first. You know what I mean? So, like, I think, like, right now where I tell kids is just you go to the gym, you work hard. Yeah, you do those things, right? But watch the game first so you can know whenever you go into the gym what to work on. Because my coach would always tell me, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. You know what I mean? If you're practicing the right way, perfectly for your craft, then the right things are going to come out. But, like, I'm not going to tell, like, a 6'9" guy who's 300 pounds to go between the legs 10 times behind the back, side step back, and then shoot a basketball. Like, you may not get an opportunity to do that in the game. And for one, that's too many dribbles, like, work on things, know where you're good at. Okay. Know what you're good at. Find a basketball player that you want to resemble. And then you work on those things, man. You know what I mean? Like, you get with somebody like myself or you or just whoever who knows the game. And then you just, you get better.
All right. Appreciate the advice. Is there anything else you want to say? I mean,
man, just
people,
just with everybody out there, man, who's just have aspirations and ambition to be professional basketball players, man, just have some realistic expectations, man. I don't think that, you're going to go overseas and be the man and do all this stuff, man. Just know that sometimes, man, it's the road to success is sometimes a rocky road, And so just be real with yourself, work hard, and just know your game, know what you're good at. Really understand the game here from a mental aspect. So.
All right. Yeah, that's great advice. I never expected to go to the NBA, never wished that because I knew it was not going to happen, but definitely paved out a different kind of road that I've enjoyed for the last 10 years. Made the most of it, still on it hopefully for a while. We'll see what happens going forward, but appreciate the time, appreciate the advice. Good seeing you again. Definitely can't wait to link up once I get back to Dallas at some point when we're allowed to fly again and see your family.
Yeah, for sure, man. I can't wait for you to come on out, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, man. All right. Take care.
All right, brother.